Welcome, friends, to another gentle journey through the world of Minecraft. Tonight, we'll be exploring one of the most mysterious and enchanting parts of the game, its rare mobs. From glowing squids shimmering in the depths, to the almost mythical blue axolotl, to charged creepers glowing under stormy skies, these creatures add magic, surprise, and wonder to the blocky world we all love. Over the course of this video, we'll share 125 fascinating facts about these rare mobs, carefully paced to help you relax, unwind, and drift into a peaceful sleep. So find a cozy spot, wrap yourself in a blanket, and let your mind wander as we explore caves, oceans, villages, and deserts together. If you enjoy these calm bedtime adventures, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss another night of storytelling. And as you begin to settle into rest, I'd love to know, where in the world are you listening from tonight? Brown mushrooms are among the most unusual mobs in Minecraft. Unlike their red counterparts, they don't spawn naturally. Instead, they are created when lightning strikes a red mushroom. This rare event makes them incredibly special to discover or create. Their uniqueness doesn't stop at their color. Brown mushrooms can be fed flowers to produce suspicious stew with different effects, from night vision to jump boost, depending on the flower chosen. This ability sets them apart as not just rare, but also functionally interesting for survival players. Many see them as the ultimate collector's treasure, worth protecting in custom pens or farms. They remind us of how unpredictable events, like a storm, can suddenly gift us with something magical and unexpected, turning ordinary exploration into a moment worth remembering. Charged creepers are perhaps one of the most dramatic, rare mobs in the game. When a regular creeper is struck by lightning, it transforms into a charged version, crackling with an eerie blue aura. Their explosions are far stronger than normal, making them truly dangerous, but also fascinating. Beyond their destructive power, they hold a unique mechanic. When a charged creeper's blast kills another mob, such as a skeleton or zombie, that mob will drop its head. These mob heads are highly sought after by builders and collectors, as they cannot be obtained any other way in survival. Players often try to harness the rare chance of lightning during thunderstorms, luring creepers into transformation. The risk is enormous, but the reward is one of the most prized decorations in Minecraft. It's a reminder that danger and beauty often walk hand in hand in this world. Few sights delight players more than stumbling upon a pink sheep in the wild. Regular sheep are everywhere, but the pink variety spawns so rarely that encountering one feels like winning the lottery. Some players can go years of playtime without ever seeing one naturally. Of course, pink dye can color any sheep, but the true magic lies in spotting one born naturally from the game's random code. Many players immediately protect the animal, placing it in a safe pen, or take screenshots to preserve the moment. The pink sheep has become something of a community legend, its rarity turning it into a symbol of good luck. Finding one grazing peacefully in a meadow can transform an ordinary day in Minecraft into a special story worth sharing. Skeleton horses are another mob steeped in mystery and rarity. They only appear during thunderstorms, when players encounter what's known as a skeleton trap. A single horse stands seemingly harmless, but once approached, lightning strikes and multiple skeleton riders appear. Surviving the encounter is no small feat, but those who do may tame the skeletal steed. Unlike normal horses, skeleton horses don't need saddles to be ridden, and they even walk across water, making them highly practical mounts. Their skeletal appearance makes them visually stunning, especially under moonlight or in haunted builds. For many players, taming one feels like turning misfortune into reward, as the storm that brought danger also brought a loyal, otherworldly companion. Skeleton horses embody both the peril and promise that storms carry in Minecraft. The Illusioner is a mob that exists in the game's code but doesn't naturally spawn, making it a hidden gem of sorts. Unlike other Illagers, it uses spells to disorient and trick players. Its abilities include casting blindness and summoning duplicates of itself, confusing anyone who tries to fight it. Currently, it can only be encountered through commands, but its design shows the developer's creativity in experimenting with different types of enemies. Many fans speculate whether the Illusioner will one day be added to raids or woodland mansions, expanding the Illager family further. Though not part of normal gameplay, it has already carved out a place in the community's imagination. For those curious enough to summon it, the Illusioner represents a fascinating what if, a mob that feels like a glimpse into an alternate version of Minecraft that never quite became reality. Spider jockeys are terrifying but rare encounters that stick in players' memories. This combination of a skeleton riding atop a spider has only a tiny chance of spawning, but when it does, it creates a uniquely dangerous foe. The spider provides speed and climbing abilities, while the skeleton provides ranged attacks. Together, they make an opponent that's difficult to predict or escape. Seeing one skitter toward you in the night is both shocking and thrilling, as their appearance feels like a special event. The combination highlights how Minecraft sometimes mixes familiar mobs in unexpected ways to keep survival unpredictable. For players lucky or unlucky enough to find one, the spider jockey is a reminder that danger often comes in creative forms, turning a routine night into an unforgettable encounter. Perhaps one of the strangest creatures in Minecraft's history is the killer bunny. Once included as a rare hostile rabbit variant, it was distinguishable by its red eyes and its willingness to attack players on sight. Unlike normal rabbits, which hop innocently across plains and forests, this one was designed as a tongue-in-cheek reference to classic comedy and folklore. Eventually, the killer bunny was removed from natural spawning, but it can still be summoned with commands. Despite its rarity, or perhaps because of it, it has become a cult favorite among players who enjoy its odd and unsettling nature. It represents the playful humor of Minecraft's creators, who often hide quirky surprises for those curious enough to dig deep into the game. Even though most will never see one in normal play, the killer bunny remains part of the game's strange and wonderful legacy. Encountering a mule in Minecraft is a quiet rarity. Unlike horses and donkeys, which can spawn naturally in the world, mules can only be bred by crossing those two species together. They inherit a mix of traits, often carrying the stamina of a donkey with the speed of a horse. What sets them apart is their ability to carry chests, making them excellent traveling companions for long expeditions. Yet despite their usefulness, many players never think to breed them, which adds to their rarity. Mules embody a kind of in-between state, not flashy like horses or quirky like donkeys, but quietly practical. Owning one feels intentional, a choice made by the player to value resilience and utility. They stand as a reminder that some of the rarest things in Minecraft are not stumbled upon but created through patience and care. Polar bears are another mob that often feels forgotten, partly because they are tied to such specific biomes. Found only in icy landscapes, they roam the frozen tundras and oceans, sometimes with cubs trailing behind. Polar bears are neutral toward players unless provoked, but they will fiercely defend their young, making them both gentle giants and dangerous guardians. Their rarity comes not from their spawn mechanics but from the limited number of biomes where they appear. Many players may never explore far enough north to even see one. The sight of a polar bear against a backdrop of snowy plains feels like a scene from another world, far from the usual forests and plains most are used to. They add atmosphere and realism to the frozen regions, reminding players that even the harshest environments have their own beauty and life. In the depths of the nether, piglin brutes stand as rare and fearsome opponents. Unlike regular piglins, who can be distracted by gold, brutes cannot be bargained with. They spawn only in bastions, patrolling the halls with golden axes in hand. Their role is to defend the treasure hoards hidden within, making any attempt to raid a bastion significantly more dangerous. Their rarity lies in their exclusivity to bastions, which are already uncommon structures. Facing one is a test of courage and preparation, as they hit harder and withstand more damage than their piglin cousins. Piglin brutes embody strength and defiance, existing solely to protect what they value most. For players daring enough to challenge them, victory is not just about loot, but also about conquering one of the Nether's most formidable guardians. They are proof that the rarest mobs often come paired with the greatest risks. The Wandering Trader is a curious figure in Minecraft's world. Appearing seemingly at random, this mob arrives with llamas in tow, offering a selection of items that change with each visit. While the trades are often ordinary, sometimes they include rare or otherwise unobtainable items, making his presence valuable. His rarity lies in the unpredictability of his spawn. You cannot summon him at will, and he often vanishes after a short time. Many players find his sudden arrival comforting, as though the world itself is sending a visitor to break the solitude. Others see him as a nuisance, cluttering their villages with less than useful deals. Yet the Wandering Trader has a charm all his own, his brightly cloaked figure adding life to quiet settlements. He reminds players that the world is alive and full of unexpected encounters, sometimes helpful, sometimes frustrating, but always unique. The elusive skeleton horse trap event is one of the game's rarest mechanics. During thunderstorms, a lone skeleton horse may appear, seemingly harmless. But if a player approaches, lightning strikes, and a group of skeleton riders suddenly materializes. This ambush can quickly overwhelm the unprepared, as the riders are fully armed and their mounts fast and agile. Surviving such an event, however, offers great reward. The skeleton horses can be tamed and kept, becoming eerie yet loyal mounts that walk across water without issue. The rarity of the event, combined with its sudden danger, makes it memorable. Many players never experience it firsthand, which only adds to its mystique. It's a perfect example of Minecraft blending surprise, risk, and reward, turning an ordinary storm into a legendary moment that can shape the story of a world forever. Phantoms are another mob tied to rarity, though in a very different way. Unlike other hostile creatures, phantoms only appear if a player has not slept for several in-game nights. Their screeching cries and swooping attacks create a chilling atmosphere, reminding players of the importance of rest. Because they only spawn under these specific conditions, players who frequently use beds may never see them naturally. They embody consequence, as neglecting a basic mechanic results in a unique danger. While often considered annoying, phantoms drop membranes used to repair elytra, making them valuable in their own way. Their ghostly forms add to the mystery of Minecraft's skies, turning sleepless nights into something supernatural. Phantoms feel like the game's way of whispering, "You've pushed too far, and now the night has its eyes on you." They remind us that even rest can be a mechanic of survival. Few mobs inspire as much debate as the giant. Technically part of Minecraft's code, the giant is a towering zombie that doesn't spawn naturally in survival mode. Its sheer size makes it impressive to see when summoned through commands, looming over landscapes like a monster from legend. Yet because it has no natural role in the game, it exists as a kind of curiosity, an unfinished idea left in the code. Some players view it as wasted potential, while others appreciate it as a relic of Minecraft's early days. Giants symbolize possibility, what could have been if the developers had chosen to flesh them out. They are rare not because they are hard to find, but because they cannot be found at all without outside help. For many fans, the giant remains a mythical mob, something imagined more than experienced, lingering on the edges of Minecraft's long history. Deep in the oceans of Minecraft, the Guardian is a mob that feels both rare and ominous. These creatures appear only near ocean monuments, swimming in slow, deliberate motions, while their one large eye follows intruders. Their laser attacks can chip away at even armored players, and their presence makes navigating underwater temples a true challenge. What makes them rare is not their spawn rate, but the fact that they are tied to one specific structure. For players who never dive into the depths, Guardians may remain unseen. They bring the ocean to life with a sense of danger and mystery, turning the silence of the deep into something filled with watchful eyes. Guardians remind players that the seas are not just beautiful but also perilous, hiding treasures only for those willing to brave the waters. At the heart of every ocean monument lies an even rarer creature, the Elder Guardian. Larger, stronger, and far more intimidating than regular guardians, these mobs act as bosses of their watery domains. Elder Guardians inflict mining fatigue, preventing players from simply digging through walls to escape or claim treasure. Their rarity is absolute. Only 3 spawn in each monument, and once defeated, they never return. This makes every encounter significant, almost sacred, because each Elder Guardian is a one-time challenge in a world. Conquering them often feels like taming the ocean itself, reclaiming space from something ancient and powerful. Their design, spiky, weathered, and wise-looking, gives them the aura of a creature that has ruled the seas for centuries. Facing one is both a test of skill and a rare brush with Minecraft's hidden mythology. In the windswept tundra of Minecraft's snowy plains, strays lurk as chilling variants of skeletons. Unlike their more common cousins, strays shoot arrows tipped with slowness, making each hit feel more dangerous and oppressive. They spawn only in cold biomes or under special conditions, making them far less common than regular skeletons. Their icy, tattered appearance sets them apart, as if the environment itself has reshaped them into survivors of endless frost. Strays add depth to snowy regions, turning peaceful white landscapes into treacherous battlefields once the sun goes down. Their rarity lies in geography, ensuring that only those who wander into the coldest parts of the world will meet them. They embody the idea that Minecraft's environments don't just host mobs but shape them, creating creatures that feel naturally tied to their surroundings. Strays are whispers of the wilderness, rare shadows drifting through endless snow. Witches, though hostile, are surprisingly uncommon. They appear naturally only in swamps or when lightning strikes near villagers, transforming them into dangerous spellcasters. This transformation mechanic makes witches rare in the sense that they can emerge unexpectedly, turning a simple thunderstorm into something much more frightening. Their potions give them resilience, healing, fire resistance, and poisons, making them more strategic than many other hostile mobs. Witches are especially dangerous when encountered unprepared, as they can outlast players who underestimate them. They symbolize unpredictability, a mob that feels more like an event than a regular spawn. For many, witches remain a rarity simply because their dedicated huts are sparse, appearing in only specific swamp areas. Whether found by accident or hunted intentionally, Witches leave a mark on players who encounter them, their cackling laughter echoing long after the battle is over. Then there are evokers, spellcasting leaders of the Illagers who dwell in woodland mansions or emerge during raids. Evokers are exceedingly rare, tied only to these specific events or structures. Their magic summons Vex's tiny, ghost-like creatures that phase through walls, and they wield powerful attacks like conjured fangs. Defeating them is the only way to obtain the Totem of Undying, one of the most valuable items in the game. This makes every evoker encounter high stakes as players weigh danger against reward. Their robes and quiet gestures give them a sense of sinister authority, as though they command not just mobs, but the very rules of reality. Evokers embody rarity in both spawn conditions and power, making them unforgettable foes. Few players forget the first time they witness one raising its arms and summoning a wave of fangs from the ground, a chilling sight in the quiet of a mansion hall. Vexes, summoned only by evokers, are among the most unique and frustrating rare mobs in Minecraft. Small, fast, and able to fly through solid blocks, Vexes defy the usual rules of combat. They are difficult to hit, darting unpredictably while carrying tiny swords that deal significant damage. What makes them so rare is their dependency. They cannot spawn naturally and exist only when an evoker calls them into being. This fleeting existence makes them feel like pure manifestations of magic, tied entirely to the will of their master. Vexes bring chaos to battles, turning straightforward fights into frantic struggles where the environment itself offers no protection. Their ghostly forms and eerie sounds add to their unsettling nature. Because they vanish after a while, defeating Vexes feels less like slaying creatures and more like resisting a curse, fighting off pieces of hostile magic itself. Deep in the shadows of ancient structures, silverfish lie hidden in stone. These tiny, scuttling mobs are among the rarest encounters because they spawn from infested blocks, which are visually identical to regular stone bricks. Players often stumble upon them by accident, breaking a block only to unleash a sudden flurry of insects. Silverfish also spawn from monster spawners and strongholds, making them guardians of one of Minecraft's most important structures, the portal to the end. Their rarity comes from these specific contexts, as most players never see them outside of strongholds. Despite their small size and low damage, silverfish can overwhelm with numbers, especially when multiple infested blocks break at once. They are living traps, surprises buried in walls, reminders that not all stone is safe to mine. Their presence adds mystery to strongholds, making them feel alive, infested, and protected by more than just walls of stone. Few mobs inspire awe quite like the Ender Dragon. Though it spawns every time a new end dimension is generated, it remains a unique boss, the only one of its kind in each world. Its rarity is symbolic rather than numerical. It is the single dragon that rules the skies of the end. The encounter is unforgettable, with the dragon swooping through obsidian towers, breathing destructive energy, and perching at the fountain of the end portal. Defeating it feels monumental, a moment of triumph that many players prepare for over countless hours. Because the Ender Dragon represents the final challenge of survival mode, its presence is tied deeply to progression. Unlike common mobs, it is not something you stumble upon, it is something you seek. Rare not by chance, but by design, the Ender Dragon embodies the pinnacle of Minecraft's challenges, a boss meant to be both feared and remembered. After the Ender Dragon's defeat, another rare mob appears, the Endermite. These tiny creatures spawn only when players throw ender pearls, and even then, the chance is slim. Endermites are the smallest hostile mobs in the game, appearing suddenly with their rapid skittering movements. Though weak and short-lived, their rarity lies in their connection to teleportation and pearls, making them feel like magical side effects of bending reality. Some players never encounter one naturally, as the odds are so low. Endermites are also used in unique farm designs, luring endermen to attack them, turning their unusual hostility into utility. Despite their size, their sudden presence can surprise even veteran players, adding an element of risk to what is usually a harmless teleportation. They are reminders that magic often has consequences, that every tool has hidden costs, and that the rarest creatures can be the smallest, lurking quietly in the shadows. Another mob tied to rarity through events is the zombified villager. While villagers themselves are common, the transformation into zombies adds an unexpected twist. Zombified villagers appear when zombies attack a village and infect its residents, turning peaceful traders into shambling threats. Their rarity lies in the fact that they do not spawn on their own. They are created by circumstance. What makes them more fascinating is that they can be cured, returned to their original form, using a golden apple and a splash potion of weakness. This mechanic turns them into a rare opportunity, allowing players to transform tragedy into triumph. Curing a zombified villager often grants significant discounts in trades, making the process both rewarding and symbolic. These mobs highlight the duality of Minecraft systems: danger and hope, destruction and redemption. Their existence reminds players that sometimes the rarest discoveries come from embracing challenges and restoring what was once lost. Illusioners, though part of the game's code, are among the rarest mobs because they cannot naturally spawn in any world. Intended as spellcasting variants of illagers, they wield bows and magic to disorient players, creating duplicates of themselves that confuse attackers. Yet they exist only through commands or special scenarios, making them mythical for most players. Illusioners embody the concept of unfinished content, a glimpse into what might have been. Their rarity comes not from difficulty of finding but from their absence, existing more in theory than in practice. Many players have never even heard of them, and those who summon them often treat the experience like a rare event. They represent possibility, standing as artifacts of design left unexplored. Illusioners are proof that even in a game as expansive as Minecraft, mysteries remain, hidden in the code, waiting for curious players to bring them to life. Another fascinating mob is the mushroom, a whimsical combination of cow and mushroom that spawns only on mushroom fields, one of the rarest biomes in Minecraft. Their red coats dotted with fungi make them stand out, as if they are part of the landscape itself. Players can shear them to obtain mushrooms, or use bowls to gather mushroom stew endlessly. Even rarer is the brown mushroom, which appears when lightning strikes a red one, transforming it into its unique variant. This event makes brown mushrooms incredibly scarce, as they require both the rare biome and the chance of lightning. Owning one feels like holding a secret treasure, a mob born of luck and circumstance. Mushrooms embody the playful creativity of Minecraft, blending everyday creatures with fantastical twists. They remind players that the world is filled not just with danger but also with whimsy, rare pockets of joy hidden in unlikely places. The wither skeleton is a rare sight found only within nether fortresses. Taller and darker than regular skeletons, they wield stone swords and carry the dangerous ability to inflict the wither effect, slowly draining health. Their rarity is compounded by the fact that their skulls, dropped only on occasion, are essential for summoning the wither boss. Hunting wither skeletons often requires patience and preparation, as fortresses are already uncommon and the drop rates low. Their design makes them stand out, haunting skeletal warriors who patrol fortress halls with an air of menace. Unlike many mobs, they feel deeply tied to their environment, as if they are spirits guarding the fortress. Defeating them is less about loot and more about persistence, as players grind through encounters to gather the 3 skulls needed. Wither skeletons are not just rare, they are essential stepping stones toward one of Minecraft's most formidable challenges. Finally, there is the Wither itself, a boss that does not spawn naturally but must be summoned by players. Created from soul sand and 3 wither skeleton skulls, it is one of the rarest encounters in the game because of the preparation required. Once unleashed, the Wither is destructive, flying freely and launching explosive projectiles. Its battle is chaotic, tearing apart landscapes and threatening even well-equipped players. The rarity of the Wither lies in its intentional design. It is not part of the world unless players make it so. Defeating it rewards the Nether Star, a crucial item for crafting beacons, making the fight both perilous and purposeful. The Wither embodies Minecraft's theme of risk and reward, where rarity comes from effort and bravery. Facing it is a choice, an invitation to summon chaos, reminding players that some of the game's greatest challenges are those we create for ourselves. Among the mobs that carry an air of rarity, the charged creeper is one of the most startling. Unlike its ordinary green counterpart, a charged creeper appears only when lightning strikes a creeper, electrifying it with a glowing blue aura. This event is so uncommon that many players go years without seeing it naturally. Charged creepers are far more powerful, their explosions capable of destroying mobs in ways no other creeper can. They are also the only source of mob heads when they blow up other creatures, making them uniquely valuable for collectors. Their rarity lies in their dependence on both weather and chance, making every sighting feel special. Encountering one is often equal parts awe and terror, as players balance the thrill of discovery with the immediate danger. Charged creepers embody unpredictability, reminding players that Minecraft's world can change suddenly, turning a routine storm into something extraordinary. Drowned mobs are common enough in rivers and oceans, but a drowned carrying a trident is a much rarer find. The trident is one of the most sought-after weapons in the game, yet it cannot be crafted and must be obtained from these rare enemies. Only a small fraction of drowned spawn with tridents, and an even smaller fraction drop them when defeated. This makes every encounter feel like a potential treasure hunt, where patience is often tested. A trident offers abilities like channeling lightning during storms or propelling through water with riptide, so obtaining one becomes a milestone for many players. The drowned's eerie presence, rising from the depths with glowing eyes and a deadly weapon, adds to the sense of unease. Their rarity ties them to both fear and reward, proving that sometimes the most valuable items are guarded by the most elusive guardians beneath the waves. Snow golems are a rare sight not because of chance, but because they must be created by players. By stacking snow blocks and placing a carved pumpkin on top, a whimsical snow golem springs to life, wandering aimlessly and throwing snowballs at hostile mobs. They melt in warm biomes and take damage in rain, making their survival dependent on environment and care. What makes them feel rare is the choice to build them. They do not exist in the world unless players decide to create companions. Snow golems embody creativity and playfulness, offering defense while also leaving snowy trails behind them. Many players craft them not for utility but for company, as their goofy appearance and simple behavior bring warmth even in cold landscapes. They represent one of Minecraft's softer touches, a reminder that rarity sometimes comes not from what the world generates, but from the joy of creation itself. Iron golems, though more common in villages, can also be created by players, and their rarity lies in their role as guardians. Built from iron blocks with a carved pumpkin head, they stand tall and imposing, protecting villagers from threats like zombies and pillagers. Naturally spawned golems are not guaranteed in every village, making their appearance feel special in smaller settlements. They symbolize safety and strength, walking slowly but striking with immense force when danger arises. For many, the act of building an iron golem feels ceremonial, like creating a protector to watch over a chosen home. Their rarity lies in their purpose. They are not wandering creatures, but dedicated guardians. Watching one patrol a village at dusk, lanterns glowing and shadows stretching long, feels peaceful. Iron golems remind players that even in a world of chaos, there are forces of stability and strength, rare presences that embody protection. Parrots are one of Minecraft's rarest tameable mobs, found only in jungle biomes. Their bright feathers stand out vividly against the deep greens of the forest, yet spotting one is not easy due to dense foliage. Parrots can mimic the sounds of nearby hostile mobs, sometimes startling players with unexpected growls or hisses. Taming them with seeds turns them into loyal companions, often perching on shoulders as players explore. Their rarity is tied to the scarcity of jungles, which are themselves among the least common biomes. Owning a parrot feels like a trophy of exploration, proof of patience and persistence in finding their habitat. Their playful behavior, fluttering around and dancing to music discs, adds charm to any base. Parrots remind players that beauty and companionship often come in small, colorful packages, tucked away in the most elusive corners of the Minecraft world. Pandas add another layer of rarity to jungles, spawning only on bamboo-filled areas within those biomes. They come with different personalities, playful, lazy, aggressive, or even worried, which makes each encounter unique. Baby pandas can sneeze adorably, sometimes startling nearby adults, adding to their charm. Their rarity lies not only in their biome but also in the chance of finding different personality types. Breeding pandas requires bamboo, reinforcing their tie to their environment. Unlike many mobs, pandas feel more like living scenery than tools or threats, existing simply to enrich the jungle. For many players, discovering pandas feels like stumbling upon a hidden sanctuary, a peaceful reminder of nature's diversity. Their rolling and lounging behaviors make them feel alive in a way few mobs do. Pandas represent tranquility and playfulness, rare creatures that turn jungles into something more than just dense forests, transforming them into places of quiet wonder. Finally, dolphins are ocean dwellers that bring both rarity and joy. They are not found in every stretch of water, appearing mostly in larger ocean biomes. Dolphins swim alongside players, leaping playfully and even guiding them to hidden treasure if fed fish. Their rarity lies in the vibrancy they bring as they transform the sea into something lively and interactive. Unlike hostile ocean mobs, dolphins embody friendliness, a sense of companionship in the vast, open water. Watching them leap in arcs across the waves is soothing, adding life to otherwise empty horizons. They are fragile, however, and need air to survive, reminding players to treat them with care. Dolphins capture the playful spirit of the oceans, rare companions that make exploration brighter. They show that rarity does not always need to equal danger. Sometimes it simply means finding joy in unexpected friendships along the journey. The axolotl is one of the most beloved rare mobs in Minecraft, found only in lush caves that themselves require patience to locate. These amphibians come in a variety of colors, from pink to gold to brown, and even a rare blue variant with an extremely low chance of appearing. Players who stumble upon axolotls often feel a sense of wonder, as if they have discovered a hidden treasure deep beneath the earth. Beyond their rarity, they serve a unique role in combat, helping players fight hostile underwater mobs like drowned or guardians. Watching them swim and play gives the caves a feeling of life, turning dark, damp spaces into places of comfort. The rare blue axolotl, in particular, has become a goal for many, a symbol of patience rewarded. Axolotls are not just mobs, they are small, bright spirits of the underground, companions for those who explore with curiosity. Goats add another layer of rarity to mountain biomes, with their distinctive bleats echoing across high cliffs. Unlike sheep or cows, goats are more unpredictable, capable of ramming players and mobs with sudden bursts of speed. Occasionally, they drop horns when they charge into solid blocks, an item that produces a loud sound reminiscent of a battle call. Their rarity comes from both their biome and their quirky behavior, which feels different from other passive mobs. Even rarer are screaming goats, which have unique sounds and more aggressive behavior. Encountering one feels like a stroke of luck, a discovery hidden within towering landscapes. Goats remind players that even in high, lonely places, life thrives in surprising ways. Their presence makes mountains feel alive, turning what could be barren stone into a space filled with character. They embody the spirit of persistence, climbing endlessly, a rare but fitting symbol of resilience. Striders are rare creatures that exist solely in the fiery nether. These odd, long-legged mobs walk across lava lakes, unaffected by the heat that would consume any other living thing. Players can ride them with the help of a saddle and a warped fungus on a stick, turning striders into unique companions for traversing dangerous terrain. Their rarity lies not in low spawn rates, but in the extreme environment they inhabit, where few players linger without purpose. Striders look almost comical with their shivering bodies when they step onto land, contrasting with their calm nature in lava. They are one of the few mobs in Minecraft that transform danger into safety, providing a way to tame the very heart of the Nether. Striders remind players that even in the harshest environments, there are allies to be found. They are rare friends who embody the strange beauty of the Nether's fiery world. Piglins themselves are common in the Nether, but the zombified piglin brings a sense of rarity through transformation. These creatures appear when piglins or piglin brutes enter the overworld and are struck by the environment's rules, instantly turning into zombified versions. Unlike their living counterparts, they no longer trade or fight for treasure, but instead wander aimlessly, groaning and carrying remnants of their past lives. Their rarity lies in this transitional state, a glimpse into how one dimension affects another. Players sometimes encounter massive groups of them when angered, creating sudden, overwhelming battles. Despite their hostility, zombified piglins carry a kind of tragic quality, frozen between two existences. They remind players that Minecraft's world is interconnected, that actions in one place ripple outward, changing creatures in another. They are rare, not because they are unseen, but because they embody transformation, proof of how dynamic the game's living systems truly are. The hoglin is another rare resident of the Nether, spawning only in crimson forests. Unlike pigs or cows, hoglins are hostile and will charge players with surprising force. They drop pork chops, making them one of the only renewable meat sources in the Nether. Their rarity lies in their biome specificity, as players must venture into crimson forests to find them. Baby hoglins, called piglets, add a small dose of charm to otherwise dangerous encounters. When brought into the overworld, Hoglins transform into zoglins, hostile undead versions of themselves, creating a unique rarity tied to dimension travel. Hoglins symbolize the brutal survival mechanics of the Nether, where even food comes at a price. They embody both danger and utility, standing as a reminder that life in Minecraft's harsher biomes is never easy. Rare and fierce, Hoglins turn crimson forests into battlegrounds, testing the courage of every player who dares enter. Bees bring sweetness and rarity to Minecraft's plains and forests. These gentle mobs are tied to beehives and nests, pollinating flowers and creating honeycombs. Their rarity comes from the structures they depend on, which are not guaranteed in every meadow. Watching bees buzz from flower to hive creates a sense of peace, as they embody the quieter rhythms of nature. They will defend themselves if provoked, stinging once before dying, which makes players cautious in their presence. Honey and honeycomb, products of their labor, become valuable items for crafting and decoration. Beyond mechanics, bees simply bring charm, turning ordinary fields into lively gardens. Their rarity lies in their role as ecosystem builders, enriching environments in subtle ways. Bees remind players that rarity can be delicate, fragile even, tied not to danger but to beauty. They are living proof that Minecraft's world balances survival with wonder, offering sweetness amid struggle. Finally, glow squids illuminate the deep waters of Minecraft with their rare, shimmering bodies. Found in dark underwater spaces, they stand apart from ordinary squids with their bioluminescent glow. While they do not serve a major combat role, they drop glow ink sacks, used to create glowing text on signs or highlight item frames. Their rarity lies in both their spawning conditions and the gentle beauty they bring to oceans and caves. Players often feel a sense of calm watching them drift through shadows, glowing softly like lanterns in the deep. Glow squids embody tranquility, offering a moment of light in otherwise dark and foreboding waters. Their quiet rarity shows that not every mob needs to be fierce or useful sometimes. Simply existing with beauty is enough. Glow squids remind us that even in the darkest places, small sparks of light can make the world feel alive. The ocelot, once a tameable pet in Minecraft, has grown into a rare and elusive creature of the jungle. Unlike cats, which now spawn in villages, ocelots remain wild, darting quickly through the dense foliage, often glimpsed only for a second before they vanish. Their rarity is tied to the jungle biomes themselves, which are uncommon and difficult to navigate. While they no longer transform into domestic cats when fed, they can still be trusted through patient care, showing the bond between players and the wild. Ocelots are shy and cautious, embodying the mysterious nature of the jungle. Spotting one feels like uncovering a hidden piece of the forest's secrets, an animal that belongs to its world and not to villages or homes. Their presence adds life to jungles, reminding players that not all beauty can be captured. Some is meant to be admired in fleeting moments. Cats, though far more common than ocelots, also have a rare side. Their various skins, tabby, black, calico, tuxedo, and more appear with differing chances, and collecting them all can be a quiet challenge. Even rarer is the black cat that spawns near witch huts during nighttime, a variant tied to both superstition and magic. Cats provide utility by scaring away creepers and phantoms, but their true charm lies in companionship. The rarity of certain skins makes them a collectible part of the game, turning ordinary villages into places of discovery. Their soft purring and playful behavior bring warmth to bases, giving players a sense of comfort. Cats remind us that rarity doesn't always need to mean difficulty. It can also mean variety. little surprises hidden in familiar places. Each unique coat is a small gift from the game, a reminder that the world of Minecraft is rich with subtle treasures. The llama, often seen with the wandering trader, also spawns independently in mountain biomes, but they carry their own rarity through variations and behaviors. Llamas can be tamed and equipped with carpets, each design giving them a unique and colorful appearance. They can be arranged into caravans, following one another in long chains, turning them into decorative yet practical transport animals. The rarest part of llamas is not their spawn, but their individuality, the ability to customize them with patterns and form traveling parades across the world. Their quirky spitting attacks give them personality, and their connection to high remote landscapes makes encounters feel special. Llamas embody eccentric charm, bringing style and character to mountains and plains alike. They remind players that even utility mobs can hold playful surprises. Their rarity lies in creativity and expression, proving that sometimes the rarest finds are not about discovery, but about the joy of making them your own. The elusive skeleton horse stands as one of Minecraft's most striking rare mobs. Unlike ordinary horses, they cannot be bred or tamed through usual means. Instead, they are obtained through the skeleton horse trap event, where lightning transforms a simple skeleton horse into a group of mounted skeleton riders. Surviving this dangerous ambush allows players to tame the skeletal mounts afterward. Their rarity lies in this sequence of chance and challenge, making every skeleton horse a prize earned through survival. Once tamed, they can traverse water effortlessly, a trait that makes them unique compared to normal horses. Skeleton horses carry an eerie elegance, their bones glowing pale under the moonlight as they gallop silently across landscapes. They embody the magical strangeness of Minecraft, where even the most dangerous moments can yield companions. Owning one feels like riding a piece of legend, a reminder that rare beauty often follows great risk. The mule, though obtainable only through breeding, feels rare in its own right. Unlike horses or donkeys, which spawn naturally, mules must be intentionally created by players who breed the two together. They cannot reproduce themselves, which means each mule is singular, a product of care and decision rather than chance. Their usefulness is significant. Like donkeys, they can carry chests, combining the practicality of storage with the speed of horses. Yet many players overlook them, leaving mules as one of the least seen companions in survival worlds. Their rarity is not in difficulty of creation, but in the rarity of thought choosing to make them when easier options exist. A mule becomes a reflection of a player's intent, a companion born of blending traits. They remind players that rare does not always mean stumbled upon. Sometimes it means deliberately creating something special, bridging the ordinary into the extraordinary. Donkeys, too, hold a quiet kind of rarity. Though they are less uncommon than mules, they appear less frequently than horses and carry their own special role. Donkeys can be outfitted with chests, making them natural pack animals for long journeys. Their rarity lies in their function and in their placement. Often found in small groups, they feel like modest, overlooked creatures in the grand scheme of Minecraft. Unlike the grandeur of horses or the strangeness of llamas, donkeys embody steady reliability. Their braying and slower speed might not impress at first, but their ability to carry supplies makes them invaluable for explorers. Donkeys remind players of the value in simplicity, in steady companionship that does not dazzle but sustains. Their rarity comes not from being hidden but from being underappreciated. They symbolize the quiet strengths of the game, proving that even the most modest mob can hold a rare and important place. Finally, rabbits, though widespread, also have a rare side through their different skins and variations. While most appear in common colors like brown or black, rare variants like the white toast rabbit or the desert-exclusive gold rabbits add uniqueness to encounters. Toast, in particular, can only be created by renaming a rabbit with a special name tag, a hidden Easter egg tied to a real-world story. Their rarity lies not just in spawn rates, but in these small details, which make collecting them an adventure. Rabbits are fragile and fast, often darting away before players can get close, adding to their elusive nature. They serve small, practical roles, dropping rabbit hides and feet, but their charm is far greater than their utility. Rabbits embody innocence, hopping across fields and deserts as quiet reminders of life's fragility. Their rare variations turn them from background creatures into treasured companions for those who seek them. The elusive fox is one of Minecraft's most enchanting mobs, found only in taiga biomes. They spawn rarely in groups, moving swiftly and curling up to sleep under trees during the day. What makes them particularly special is their ability to carry items in their mouths, sometimes spawning already holding things like emeralds or food. Their rarity lies in both their biome and their behaviors, which make them feel alive in ways few mobs do. Players can earn their trust by breeding them, resulting in kits that will not flee from humans. Spotting a fox at night, glowing eyes peering from the shadows, feels like uncovering a secret of the forest. They embody the quiet magic of taigas, rare companions that exist on the edges of wildness and tameness. Foxes remind us that some of the most beautiful encounters happen only in stillness, patience, and gentle observation. Arctic foxes are an even rarer variant, appearing only in snowy taiga biomes. Their white fur blends seamlessly with the snow, making them almost invisible against their environment. Like their red-tailed relatives, they sleep curled up during the day and scurry at night, carrying items in their mouths. Their rarity is tied not only to their limited spawn biome, but also to the atmosphere they create. Silent figures slipping across frozen landscapes, symbols of survival in harsh conditions. Players who stumble upon them often feel as though they've uncovered something sacred, a small flicker of life in an otherwise barren stretch of snow. Taming Arctic foxes by breeding them can bring them closer, but their wild essence always lingers, making them feel untamed even in companionship. They embody the purity and resilience of cold biomes, rare creatures who turn icy worlds into places of quiet, living beauty. The horse, while common in many plains biomes, also carries rarity through its patterns and breeds. With dozens of possible coat variations, some combinations are less likely to appear, making certain horses feel like unique treasures. Players often search for the perfect blend of speed, health, and appearance, creating a kind of rarity through breeding. Horses also form emotional bonds with players, galloping across vast landscapes and leaping over rivers with ease. A rare spotted or glossy black horse becomes more than transportation. It becomes a companion, tied to exploration and memory. Horses remind us that rarity sometimes emerges from personal connection, from finding one special mob among many that feels irreplaceable. Each horse carries its own identity, and the journey to discover the right one adds value to the game. They are living proof that rarity can be both statistical and deeply personal, shaped by player experience. Don't overlook wolves when thinking about rarity. While they spawn in forests and taigas, their taming transforms them into loyal dogs, creating a relationship far beyond their numbers. Wolves are common enough to be found, but the rarity lies in the bond that forms when they become companions. They fight alongside players, wag their tails when fed, and follow through thick forests and dark caves. Rarely, a player may gather a whole pack, turning the wilderness into a chorus of howls and protection. Yet their fragility makes them precious wolves can fall in battle, and their loss is often felt deeply. They embody the emotional rarity of mobs in Minecraft, creatures that matter not for their scarcity, but for the meaning players give them. Wolves show that rarity can come from the heart, from bonds that make a world feel less lonely and more alive with loyal companionship. Parrots already hold rarity through their jungle-only spawn, but the blue parrot variant is the rarest of all. While most parrots appear in red, green, yellow, or cyan, the bright blue parrot has the lowest chance of spawning, making it a true prize for explorers. Its vivid feathers stand out against jungle greens, dazzling players lucky enough to encounter one. Taming it with seeds allows the parrot to perch and follow, becoming a living ornament of the jungle's mysteries. The rarity of the blue parrot has made it almost legendary among players, with many traveling long distances just for the chance to spot one. Their mimicry of hostile mob sounds only adds to their intrigue, as they blur the line between danger and charm. Blue parrots embody rarity not just in numbers but in allure, a flash of color that transforms the jungle into a treasure-filled sanctuary. Villagers themselves are common, yet the nitwit villager is a rare variant worth noticing. Dressed in green robes, nitwits cannot take on professions, making them outliers in the community. Their rarity lies in their inability to contribute, a quirk of the village system that makes them stand out. While often considered useless by players, nitwits add flavor and realism to villages, as not every inhabitant has a role or trade. Spotting one feels like encountering a hidden personality type, a reminder that Minecraft's world is varied even in its smallest details. Nitwits embody rarity of purpose, creatures that resist utility and exist simply as background characters in the tapestry of village life. They remind players that not everything rare has to be powerful or valuable. Sometimes rarity lies in difference, in quirks that make the world feel more authentic and alive. They are the overlooked gems of Minecraft society. Finally, evoker fangs deserve their place here, though they are more of a summoned entity than a mob. Evokers conjure these spectral jaws during battles, and they appear suddenly, snapping up from the ground to strike enemies. While temporary, their rarity lies in their exclusive connection to evokers, one of the rarest hostile mobs. The sight of ghostly teeth erupting from the floor feels both eerie and thrilling, an attack unlike any other in Minecraft. Players who face evokers during raids or in woodland mansions witness these fangs as part of the chaotic challenge. Though fleeting, they remind us that rarity can take many forms, even existing in moments rather than permanent mobs. Evoker fangs symbolize the creativity of Minecraft's design, rare flashes of magic that turn ordinary fights into spectacles. They are whispers of danger, reminders that the world still has surprises hidden in its code. The phantom membrane ties its rarity to the phantom itself, a mob that only appears if players neglect sleep for several nights. These eerie, winged creatures swoop down from the skies with chilling cries, transforming peaceful nights into battles. The membranes they drop are vital for repairing elytra, making phantoms both an annoyance and a necessity. Their rarity lies in the conditions required. Many players never encounter them naturally, as regular sleep prevents their spawn. Facing them feels like a punishment for restlessness, an embodiment of fatigue turned hostile. Their pale wings glowing against the stars create an image of haunting beauty, as if the sky itself has come alive to remind players of balance. Phantoms remind us that even in a world of adventure, rest matters, and ignoring it awakens strange, rare beings that test patience As much as they test strength, Endermen are familiar to most players, but the Enderman that carries a rare block becomes a subtle treasure. These tall, teleporting mobs can be seen wandering with dirt, flowers, or even mushrooms clutched in their long hands. While the mechanic is common, the specific blocks they carry create moments of rare surprise, as if Endermen are curators of the world's randomness. Some players spot them with items from faraway places, making it feel like they have traveled great distances. The sight of an Enderman cradling a single flower in its dark grip carries quiet poetry, blending menace with fragility. Their rarity lies in these unexpected details, moments that turn an ordinary mob into something mysterious. Endermen carrying blocks embody the game's unpredictability, subtle reminders that even hostile creatures can show strange habits, rare glimpses into the personality of Minecraft's most enigmatic wanderers. The baby zombie villager is a rare, unsettling hybrid of two uncommon mobs, combining the frantic speed of baby zombies with the eerie tragedy of infected villagers. They appear only under specific conditions. Their rarity lies in this overlap, a convergence of chance that creates something memorable. Baby zombie villagers retain the ability to be cured, making them unique opportunities to restore lost villagers and even transform despair into hope. Spotting one feels like witnessing a story unfold, a village under siege, a child infected, a chance for redemption. Their frantic movements and tiny stature make them deceptively dangerous, a small figure that can overwhelm unprepared players. They remind us that rarity often comes in unexpected packages, blending mechanics in ways that feel personal and significant. Baby zombie villagers are strange little echoes of tragedy, proof that even the smallest mobs can carry weight in the game's tapestry. Striders have already carved their place in the Nether, but the rare baby strider that rides atop its parent brings even more charm. Occasionally, these tiny creatures spawn perched on larger striders, bobbing gently as they move across lava lakes. The sight is rare and delightful, a quirky detail that adds life to the Nether's otherwise harsh and intimidating landscape. Baby striders shiver even more than their parents when on land, creating an almost comical display of fragility. Their rarity lies in the combination event, where two mobs exist in harmony, creating something greater than either alone. Watching them glide across lava feels like a soft reminder that even the deadliest places hold moments of tenderness. Baby striders show that rarity is not always about danger or power. It can also be about innocence, the little sparks of joy scattered across Minecraft's most hostile environments. Skeleton traps, while already tied to rare events, hold even rarer moments when lightning spawns multiple skeleton riders at once. These encounters transform a quiet storm into a chaotic ambush, with skeletons appearing on skeletal steeds, arrows flying from all directions. Their rarity lies in both the storm conditions and the chance of the trap triggering, making them feel like hidden events within the game's world. Players who survive these sudden battles walk away with not only loot but also the chance to tame skeleton horses. The memory of such an event lingers, often retold as one of those rare stories that shape a player's world. Skeleton traps are proof that rarity in Minecraft is as much about timing and environment as it is about the mobs themselves. They create tales worth sharing, small legends formed in lightning and rain, where the ordinary sky suddenly splits open with danger. The husk is another variant mob, found only in desert biomes. Unlike zombies, husks do not burn in sunlight, making them persistent threats in the open sands. They also inflict hunger on players when they attack, a unique mechanic that sets them apart. Their rarity lies in their biome exclusivity, as only those who journey through deserts will encounter them. Their appearance dry, withered, and sand-colored fits perfectly with the desolate landscapes, as though the desert itself shaped them. Husk encounters are memorable because they alter the rhythm of survival. Hunger drains resources faster, forcing players to adapt. They remind us that rarity can mean adaptation, mobs built to suit their environment. In the still heat of the desert, husks shuffle endlessly, echoes of survival in harsh places. They bring deserts to life in subtle ways, turning empty stretches of sand into dangerous and atmospheric journeys. Finally, the wandering trader's llamas carry rarity through their decoration. Each one can be equipped with a different colored carpet, creating a variety of appearances that turn them into living ornaments. Spotting them in the wild with their colorful coats feels like a stroke of luck, a splash of brightness in an otherwise ordinary landscape. Their rarity lies in the diversity of patterns, as some combinations are far less likely than others. The llamas themselves spit at attackers, a humorous form of defense, giving them personality. Together with the trader, they transform ordinary villages and plains into scenes filled with color and character. These rare patterns remind players that even small details can enrich the game's world. The llamas embody whimsy and expression, proof that rarity can come from something as simple as a splash of color against the backdrop of Minecraft's vast, blocky world. The evoker, one of the most powerful illagers, is rare, not only because it spawns in woodland mansions, but also because of the creatures it summons. These spellcasters unleash vexes, tiny ghost-like mobs that fly through walls to attack players. The rarity lies in both the evoker itself and the unpredictable nature of its magic. Beyond summoning vexes, evokers also cast a fang attack, causing spectral teeth to erupt from the ground. Defeating them rewards players with the Totem of Undying, an item so valuable that encountering an evoker becomes a milestone in survival. Their strange blend of magic and menace makes them stand apart from all other illagers, turning woodland mansions into sites of mystery and danger. Evokers remind us that rarity is not only about spawning chances, but also about the unique powers that mobs bring into the game's world. The Vex, though summoned by evokers, is rare enough to deserve its own recognition. These small, winged mobs are spectral beings with the ability to phase through walls, making them incredibly difficult to fight. Their tiny size and erratic flight patterns create an unsettling presence as they dart in and out of reach with piercing cries. The rarity of Vexes lies in their temporary nature. They vanish once the evoker that summoned them is defeated. This makes encounters fleeting, intense moments rather than long-term threats. They embody the strange and ephemeral side of Minecraft's hostile creatures, here one moment and gone the next. For many players, fighting Vexes is a test of patience and precision, as their unpredictability turns combat into chaos. They are reminders that rarity can also mean transience, mobs that exist only briefly to trouble players before fading back into nothingness. A rare skeleton variant, the Stray, is exclusive to snowy biomes. Their pale, icy appearance fits perfectly with their frosty environments, and their arrows carry a special trait. They inflict slowness on players, making escape harder. Strays highlight how rarity often reflects environment, tying mob identity to the landscapes they inhabit. Their unusual look makes them instantly memorable, bone white with patches of frost clinging to their forms, as though they've been wandering frozen wastelands for ages. Encountering them feels different from a normal skeleton fight, adding atmosphere and danger to snowy journeys. They transform otherwise quiet, snowy nights into chilling battles, where each arrow slows your stride and adds tension. Strays stand as examples of how biomes shape unique mobs, subtle details that make exploration rewarding. They remind us that Minecraft's world is not uniform, but alive with rare creatures who belong to the places they call home. One of the strangest rare mobs is the chicken jockey. These occur when a baby zombie, husk, or drowned spawns riding on top of a chicken. The result is an unusual and often humorous sight, a tiny yet ferocious enemy racing toward players on an innocent farm animal. Despite the silliness, chicken jockeys can be surprisingly dangerous, as the chicken provides mobility and avoids burning in sunlight, making the pair persistent threats. Their rarity lies in the very small chance of such a combination spawning, which makes seeing them an event players rarely forget. For many, they are equal parts threat and comedy, mobs that can both scare and amuse. Spotting one turns an ordinary day into a story to tell, a reminder that even hostile encounters can bring laughter. Chicken jockeys embody Minecraft's playful creativity, proving that rarity often carries a spark of humor. The wither skeleton, though more common in nether fortresses, holds rarity in its ability to drop wither skulls. These skulls are needed to summon the wither boss, but the drop rate is extremely low, making farming them a long and often frustrating task. The wither skeleton's tall, dark figure and deadly wither effect already set it apart, but its connection to one of the game's most powerful bosses gives it special significance. Every skull feels like a prize hard-earned, a rare token gathered in the dangerous halls of the Nether. Many players dedicate entire builds to farming wither skeletons, demonstrating the effort required for such rare drops. Their rarity is not just about their spawning, but about the patience they demand. Wither skeletons remind us that some of Minecraft's greatest rewards require persistence, turning repeated encounters into journeys marked by moments of hard-won triumph. The drowned is a mob tied to oceans and rivers, often overlooked but containing rare traits. Occasionally, a drowned spawns holding a trident, one of the most coveted weapons in the game. This is exceedingly rare, as both the chance of the drowned holding a trident and dropping it are low. Players who manage to obtain one feel a surge of triumph, as the weapon opens doors to enchantments and ranged combat possibilities unique to the trident. Drowned carrying nautilus shells are also rare, offering resources for crafting conduits. Their rarity lies in these special spawns, transforming an otherwise common underwater threat into an opportunity for treasure. Encountering one in the dark, murky depths adds an eerie thrill to exploration. The drowned, carrying a trident or shell, are symbols of hidden riches in unexpected places, rare mobs that bring mystery and reward to the watery realms of Minecraft. Finally, the witch that spawns naturally in huts adds a rare flavor to swamp exploration. Unlike witches that appear at night anywhere, those found in huts are tied to specific structures, creating a sense of intentional placement. Their rarity lies in this connection. They are guardians of their crooked wooden homes, often appearing alongside a black cat. The combination makes swamp huts feel atmospheric and alive, as though each one has its own resident figure brewing potions in the shadows. Defeating them rewards players with useful items like potions and ingredients, but many players simply enjoy the ambiance they bring to swamp biomes. These witches transform swamps from empty wetlands into places of lore, adding narrative weight to the world. Their rarity lies not in their combat difficulty, but in their symbolic presence, representing the quiet mysteries hidden across Minecraft's landscapes. The magma cube may seem common in nether fortresses, but the largest versions are surprisingly rare in natural spawning. These towering, bouncing blocks of molten energy separate into smaller cubes when defeated, creating a chain of enemies from one encounter. The rarity of large magma cubes lies not only in their spawn rates but also in the intensity of the battle they create. Their enormous leaps can knock players into lava, while their splitting mechanic ensures the fight feels endless. Seeing one towering in the distance across a lava lake is both thrilling and nerve-wracking, a reminder that the Nether's danger comes in many forms. Their rarity embodies the theme of escalation, one mob that multiplies into many, turning a single moment into a prolonged struggle. Large magma cubes remind us that sometimes rarity is not about scarcity but about scale and spectacle. The villager nitwit is another subtle rarity that players may not notice at first. Unlike other villagers who hold jobs and trade, nitwits wander aimlessly, never taking on a profession. Their green robes mark them as different, though some players see them as useless because they offer no trades. Yet their rarity lies in this very uniqueness. They represent a break from the pattern, an odd character in a bustling village. Nitwits add life to the game by creating variety, showing that not every villager fits neatly into a role. For some, protecting a nitwit becomes a quirky project, preserving the rare oddball of the village. Their presence reminds us that rarity does not always equal utility. Sometimes it simply adds personality, turning ordinary spaces into places filled with distinct individuals. Nitwits may be overlooked, but they carry charm for those who appreciate the little oddities in Minecraft's design. The mule, a hybrid between a horse and a donkey, is rare by design. It can't be found naturally in the wild. Instead, players must breed a horse and a donkey together. This act creates something unique, an animal with traits of both parents, able to carry chests like a donkey, yet faster like a horse. Their rarity lies in this requirement of intentional creation, a reminder that some mobs must be crafted rather than stumbled upon. Mules also cannot be bred further, making each one a special companion rather than part of an ongoing lineage. For many players, owning a mule feels like having a symbol of choice and effort, a reminder of the work put into shaping their world. They embody how rarity can emerge from intention, creating creatures that exist only through the player's decision to combine what nature alone never provides. The ocelot was once a rare mob with unique mechanics before being redesigned. Initially, taming ocelots into cats required patience and raw fish, with players spending long moments sneaking carefully to earn their trust. Their rarity lay in both their jungle biome spawns and their elusive behavior, darting away if players moved too quickly. Although cats and ocelots are now separate, the original ocelot mechanics live on as a memory of a rare experience. For older players, spotting one in the jungle still carries nostalgia, recalling the thrill of slowly coaxing a wild creature into companionship. Their natural camouflage among the vines and trees only adds to the challenge, making encounters feel special. Ocelots remind us that rarity is not only about numbers but also about difficulty, the patience required to capture fleeting moments with creatures who vanish almost as soon as they appear. The zombified piglin that once was a pig struck by lightning is one of Minecraft's earliest rare transformations. Before the Nether overhaul introduced piglins, pigs could become zombified through storms, creating eerie, green-eyed figures that stood as reminders of weather's power. The rarity lay in the lightning strike itself, a rare event capable of altering the familiar into the strange. These pigmen, as they were once called, became symbols of mystery, bridging the overworld and the Nether in a single mob. For many longtime players, seeing one emerge from a simple farm pig was unforgettable, turning the ordinary into something chilling. Even though modern versions differ, the idea remains a creature shaped by lightning, rare because of the chance event behind its creation. Zombified piglins hold a place in history as one of Minecraft's earliest examples of transformation and the strange magic storms can bring. The wandering trader itself is not necessarily rare, but the range of items it carries often creates rare opportunities. From coral blocks to saplings, traders sometimes offer resources that would otherwise require long journeys to find. Their llamas and colorful appearance already make them stand out, but the true rarity lies in the chance of what they bring. Players may find themselves stumbling upon resources they have never encountered before, creating moments of unexpected convenience. Though often dismissed as annoying, the wandering trader embodies the idea of surprise, offering rare gifts in unlikely places. Many stories exist of players who discovered essential items just in time thanks to one of these cloaked visitors. Their rarity is tied to luck, the chance alignment of code and timing that transforms an ordinary encounter into a life-saving or world-changing event. Wandering traders show that rarity often arrives when least expected. Finally, the Pillager Patrol represents a rare event that disrupts peaceful exploration. These groups spawn randomly, appearing with banners and crossbows as they march across plains or near villages. Their rarity lies in the timing and unpredictability, transforming an otherwise calm day into a tense skirmish. Pillager captains add even more weight to the encounter, as defeating one grants the ominous, bad omen effect, leading to raids if a player enters a village. These patrols are memorable because they inject surprise into survival, proof that danger can find players even outside dungeons or fortresses. The sight of their banners waving against the horizon creates unease, a reminder that the world holds factions beyond the player's control. Pillager patrols represent rarity through disruption, the sudden arrival of hostile forces where none were expected. They are moments of storytelling born from randomness, creating conflict where before there was only peace. The polar bear is a mob exclusive to snowy tundras and ice biomes, making them a rare sight for players who don't often venture into frozen landscapes. They roam with slow, lumbering steps, often accompanied by their cubs. What makes them rare is not just their biome but also their protective behavior. Adult polar bears will defend their young fiercely, charging at any player who comes too close. Their large size and white fur blend seamlessly into icy environments, creating the impression that they are part of the frozen world itself. Encounters with polar bears carry a sense of majesty, as though the wild north has guardians who embody its spirit. They are living reminders that even in Minecraft's most desolate places, life adapts and thrives. Polar bears transform frozen wastelands into spaces of quiet wonder, adding depth and atmosphere to biomes many players rarely explore. The Ravager is a mob that embodies destruction, rare because it only appears during raids. These massive horned beasts trample crops, crush blocks like leaves, and charge at players with terrifying force. Their rarity is tied to the raid mechanic itself, as only those who engage with the Illager invasion system will encounter them. Their presence turns villages into battlefields, raising the stakes and forcing players to defend homes against overwhelming odds. Ravagers drop saddles upon defeat, but the true reward is the memory of surviving such a dangerous foe. Their massive size and bellowing roars make them unforgettable, creatures that feel larger than life within Minecraft's blocky world. The Ravager embodies the chaos and unpredictability of raids, transforming peaceful villages into scenes of struggle and survival. They stand as rare symbols of conflict, existing only when players choose to engage with the Illager threat. The axolotl, added with the Caves and Cliffs update, is a rare mob that quickly captured the hearts of players. Found in lush caves, these amphibious creatures come in multiple colors, from pink to cyan, with the elusive blue axolotl being the rarest. Their rarity lies both in their spawning environment and in the incredibly low chance of encountering a blue one. Axolotls aid players in underwater battles, attacking hostile mobs like drowned or guardians, making them both useful and adorable companions. Their soft, blinking faces and playful swimming motions create moments of joy in otherwise dark underground waters. Many players go to great lengths to breed them, hoping to one day see the bright flash of a rare blue variant. Axolotls remind us that rarity can also be about charm and companionship, rare creatures that bring warmth and light to the depths of Minecraft's caves. The goat, native to mountain biomes, carries its rarity through behavior rather than appearance. While goats are relatively easy to find in their steep, snowy homes, the screaming goat variant is exceptionally rare. These goats produce unique bleats and are more aggressive in their ramming behavior, knocking players or mobs off cliffs with surprising force. Their rarity lies in this small chance of spawning, a detail that makes them stand out from their more common relatives. The introduction of goats added energy to mountain landscapes, as their bounding leaps across cliffs bring life to otherwise quiet peaks. Encountering a screaming goat feels like discovering a hidden personality in the game's code, a rare spark of humor and surprise. They remind us that rarity can be playful, tucked into unexpected sound effects and subtle differences that give Minecraft's creatures a little extra character and charm. The Mushroom Island biome itself is rare, but within it lies the potential for even rarer experiences, the spawning of baby mushrooms. These adorable red-capped calves are rare simply because the biome itself is so difficult to find. Baby mushrooms inherit the mushroom-covered look of their parents, adding even more whimsy to this fantastical place. Their rarity is compounded when players breed mushrooms in hopes of increasing the herd, as these creatures exist in such isolated pockets of the world. Seeing a baby mushroom frolic among the giant mushrooms is like stepping into a fairy tale, a rare vision that feels more magical than almost anything else in Minecraft. They embody innocence and wonder, reminding players of how rarity often layers upon itself rare creatures in rare biomes, producing moments that feel like treasures. Baby mushrooms are proof that Minecraft's world always holds something delightful waiting to be found. The Elder Guardian is a rare, boss-like mob found only in ocean monuments. Unlike regular guardians, these massive versions patrol the watery halls with laser attacks and the ability to curse players with mining fatigue. Their rarity lies in their exclusivity, 3 spawn per monument, and nowhere else. Defeating them is a significant challenge, requiring underwater combat skills, potions, and planning. Yet, the reward is more than just loot. Defeating Elder Guardians opens the way to clearing and even claiming an ocean monument for one's own. Their strange spiky bodies and glaring single eyes create an eerie, otherworldly presence, as though they are ancient keepers of the sea. For many, encountering an Elder Guardian is a milestone in exploration, proof that the oceans hold secrets as challenging as the Nether or the End. They stand as rare gatekeepers, ensuring that only the most determined players uncover the treasures of the deep. The wandering cat variants introduced into villages hold a subtle kind of rarity. While cats themselves are common once players build villages, the different coat patterns are tied to specific chances. Some, like the Siamese or the rare black cat that spawns in witch huts, stand out as harder to find. Each cat pattern feels like a collectible, encouraging players to tame them all. Their rarity lies in this variety, a quiet detail that enriches villages with diversity. For players who love companionship, collecting every cat type becomes a personal quest, one filled with patience and delight. Cats add warmth to Minecraft's world, purring softly as they curl up on beds or chase phantoms away. The rarest coats feel like trophies of exploration, little reminders of how even the smallest creatures can inspire adventure. These rare cats embody how charm and rarity often walk hand in hand. The parrot is a mob tied to the jungle biome, making it a rare companion for players who seldom wander into these dense green forests. Parrots come in a variety of colors: red, blue, green, yellow, and cyan, each one vibrant against the deep foliage. Their rarity is tied not only to their biome but also to their playful behavior. Parrots can mimic the sounds of nearby hostile mobs, creating both amusement and confusion when exploring. They also perch on players' shoulders, adding charm to long adventures. While parrots do not serve a practical survival role beyond companionship, their presence transforms journeys into lighter, happier experiences. Finding and taming one with seeds feels like discovering joy tucked into the thick canopy. Their rarity lies in their vibrancy, little bursts of life in jungles that can otherwise feel overwhelming. Parrots are rare treasures of delight, dancing color and sound into the world. The dolphin is another rare creature of the oceans, appearing only in certain areas and offering unique interactions. Dolphins lead players to buried treasure or shipwrecks if fed raw fish, turning exploration into a partnership with the sea itself. Their rarity lies not in their numbers but in their usefulness, as no other mob guides players directly to hidden loot. Their playful leaps from the waves add energy and realism to oceans, reminding players of the beauty of marine life. Dolphins also grant a speed boost when players swim near them, making them both charming and helpful. Spotting them feels like meeting the ocean's guides, rare allies in a world often filled with hostile mobs. Their joyful squeaks and fluid movements transform seafaring into a lively, magical journey. Dolphins embody how rarity is not only about scarcity, but also about the unique bonds mobs create with players. The piglin brute, introduced with the Nether update, is a rare and particularly dangerous mob. Unlike regular piglins, piglin brutes never barter, wear armor, or carry gold. They exist only to guard bastions fiercely. Their rarity lies in their role as protectors, designed to be tough obstacles that cannot be distracted or pacified. They carry golden axes and attack relentlessly, embodying the raw aggression of the Nether. Defeating them rewards players with access to the treasures hidden within bastions, but surviving the encounter is no small task. The piglin brute is rare because it represents an unbending force, a mob created not for compromise but for challenge. Their hulking frames and determined attacks remind players that not all encounters can be softened with gold or trickery. They embody the danger and value of the bastions they guard, rare warriors in a fiery realm built on risk and reward. The rarest villagers are those struck by lightning, transforming into witches. This rare event blends two familiar mobs into something new and unsettling. A peaceful villager, once a trader and part of the village's life, becomes corrupted in a flash of storm energy. The rarity lies in the combination of chance and timing. Lightning must strike precisely, and the transformation feels almost tragic. These witches retain no trace of their former lives, now hostile and brewing harmful potions. For players who witness it, the event feels almost like folklore, a story whispered about the dangers storms carry. It reminds us that rarity can be eerie, not only joyful, shaping the world with sudden moments of loss and change. The lightning-struck villager turned witch is a rare spectacle, both frightening and fascinating, embodying the game's blend of wonder and peril hidden within unpredictable natural events. The panda is a rare mob tied to bamboo forests, a biome that itself is uncommon. Pandas bring personality to Minecraft, with different temperaments such as playful, lazy, or aggressive. Their rarity lies in this variety. Each panda has a unique personality expressed through behaviors like rolling, sneezing, or lounging. Spotting a brown panda variant is especially rare, as the chance is extremely low, making them prized by collectors. Pandas also interact with bamboo, sitting and munching happily, adding a sense of realism and charm to their design. They embody tranquility, gentle giants who bring life and warmth to jungle environments. For players, discovering pandas feels like a blessing, a reward for venturing into one of the game's most elusive biomes. Their rarity is both in their biome and their behaviors, creating mobs that are as much companions as they are curiosities, filled with personality and life. The glow squid, added through a community vote, is rare not for difficulty but for ambiance. Found in dark underwater spaces, these luminous creatures light up the depths with their soft glow. Their rarity lies in their spawning conditions, often deep below the surface where few players wander. Glow squids drop glow ink sacs, which can be used to craft glowing item frames and other decorative touches, making them both useful and beautiful. The serene movements of these glowing mobs transform underwater caves into magical places, turning darkness into wonder. Encountering one feels like stumbling across a piece of living starlight hidden beneath the water. Glow squids embody how rarity can also mean subtle beauty, quiet creatures that serve more to inspire than to threaten. They are reminders that Minecraft's oceans and caves still hold secrets worth exploring, even in their calmest and most peaceful corners. The zoglin, a rare byproduct of Minecraft's mechanics, is created when a hoglin from the nether is brought into the overworld. The transition transforms the creature into a zombified, hostile version that attacks nearly everything in sight. Their rarity lies in the effort required to transport a hoglin through dimensions, a task few players attempt. Zoglins are aggressive and untamable, existing more as curiosities than companions. They symbolize the strange consequences of crossing worlds, the way mobs change when removed from their natural environments. Their hulking, decayed appearance adds menace to their rarity, a warped echo of the nether in the overworld. For players who manage to create one, the zoglin is a living trophy, proof of persistence and experimentation. They remind us that rarity often lies in effort, the willingness to test boundaries, and uncover what happens when worlds collide in unexpected ways. The Phantom is already known as a rare mob, but the rarest experiences come when multiple phantoms spawn together, circling overhead like a pack of predators. Their appearance depends on neglecting sleep, a mechanic that turns restlessness into a haunting. The rarity lies in the spectacle, a group of glowing-eyed creatures swooping from the stars, their cries echoing in the night. Fighting them creates chaos, arrows flying upward as players defend themselves under the open sky. Yet, there is also a beauty in their wings outlined against the moon, a fleeting moment of eerie wonder. Their phantom membranes are practical rewards, but many players remember the encounter itself more vividly than the loot. These rare swarms remind us that sometimes rarity is not one creature but the scale of the event, turning ordinary nights into unforgettable battles woven with fear, awe, and the need for courage. The mule carrying a chest may not sound rare, but it represents a unique intersection of function and design. Unlike horses, mules cannot wear armor, and unlike donkeys, they cannot reproduce. Adding a chest to a mule creates a rare hybrid companion part mount, part pack animal that reflects the player's decision to value utility over spectacle. Their rarity lies in their individuality. Every mule is created through intention, not chance, and equipping them with storage makes them irreplaceable travel partners. Many players overlook mules, preferring the speed of horses or the simplicity of donkeys, but those who take the time to raise and equip them find a deeper bond. Seeing a mule laden with goods, walking steadily across the plains, carries a quiet satisfaction. They remind us that rarity can emerge not from wild discovery but from purposeful creation, a product of patience and thoughtfulness. The rare slime chunk is tied to slimes, creatures that only spawn in specific areas deep underground or in swamp biomes at night. Slimes may not seem rare, but the mechanics behind them create unpredictability. Slime chunks are scattered sparsely across the world, meaning players can dig for hours without finding one. Large slimes add even more rarity, splitting into medium and small versions, turning a single spawn into an event. Their usefulness in dropping slime balls makes them a sought-after resource for crafting sticky pistons and leads, linking rarity directly to utility. Many players construct farms around slime chunks once they discover them, treating the location as a treasure. Encountering a giant slime bouncing through the darkness of an underground cavern feels both comical and surreal. The rarity of slimes lies not in the mob itself, but in the hidden code of the world that decides where they may appear. The mushroom struck by lightning, turning from red to brown, is a rare transformation few players ever see. The randomness of storms, combined with the even rarer chance of lightning striking precisely on a mushroom, makes this event legendary. The resulting brown mushroom is more than just visually distinct. It can create suspicious stew when fed flowers, offering a variety of potion effects. This functional twist gives the brown mushroom value beyond novelty. Many players deliberately try to summon lightning with tridents enchanted with channeling, harnessing the storm to create this rarity themselves. The event feels magical, as though nature itself has transformed something familiar into something extraordinary. Watching the flash of lightning turn a cheerful red cow into its brown cousin is unforgettable, a symbol of how rarity often comes from unexpected, fleeting moments. The brown mushroom is one of Minecraft's most enchanting examples of chance becoming treasure. The baby zombie riding a pig is one of the most whimsical and rare mob combinations in Minecraft. Unlike chicken jockeys, which have a higher chance of spawning, zombie pig riders are exceedingly rare, requiring a baby zombie and a pig to spawn together. The sight is both comical and unsettling. A tiny undead figure gripping reins as it speeds toward players on a squealing pig. Their rarity lies in this improbable pairing, a moment of humor and danger intertwined. For many, encountering one feels like a special Easter egg hidden in the game's mechanics. Players often rush to take screenshots or protect the pig rather than fight, treating the moment as a story worth remembering. The baby zombie pig rider reminds us that rarity is sometimes about surprise, mobs combined in ways that delight and unsettle, creating unforgettable encounters that linger long after the battle ends. The villager cured from a zombie state represents another kind of rarity, one born of effort rather than chance. When a zombie villager is encountered, players can choose to cure it with a splash potion of weakness and a golden apple. The rarity lies in the transformation itself, a process that takes time and patience as the mob trembles and groans before finally reverting to its peaceful form. This act of healing feels like a miracle within the game, turning a threat into a friend. Villagers cured in this way often offer discounted trades, rewarding the player's compassion. The rarity is not in the zombie villager alone, but in the decision to save rather than slay. It creates a sense of story, a memory of rescue that deepens the bond between player and village. These rare transformations show that rarity can also mean redemption. Moments where kindness shapes the world. The Illusioner remains one of Minecraft's rarest mobs, hidden within the game's code but never officially released into survival. Summoned only through commands, the Illusioner casts spells of blindness and creates duplicates of itself, confusing players who dare to fight it. Its rarity lies in its inaccessibility, a mob that exists but is locked away, part of a future that never came. Many speculate whether Mojang will ever add it fully to raids or woodland mansions, but for now it remains a curiosity, a secret tucked within the game. Encountering one feels like peeking behind the curtain, glimpsing a piece of design that was left unfinished. The Illusioner reminds us that rarity is not always about probability, it can also be about absence, the things almost forgotten but still lingering in the code. It is a rare ghost of what could have been, waiting quietly in Minecraft's hidden depths. The Spider Jockey is one of Minecraft's earliest rare mob combinations, appearing when a skeleton spawns riding on top of a spider. This pairing creates a unique challenge, combining the ranged attacks of the skeleton with the mobility of the spider. Their rarity lies in the low chance of spawning naturally, making them memorable encounters when they do appear. For many players, the first sight of a spider jockey is shocking, as it turns two familiar mobs into something more dangerous together. Fighting one requires strategy, as arrows rain down while the spider closes the distance with quick leaps. The event embodies how rarity can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, creating mobs that feel like legends even though they are simply chance occurrences. Spider jockeys remain one of the game's most iconic rare mobs, blending fear and fascination in a single unforgettable encounter. The chicken jockey, though similar, adds its own rare charm. Baby zombies riding chickens appear with extremely low probability, and the combination is both comical and dangerous. The small size of the rider makes it harder to hit, while the chicken provides surprising speed and agility. Their rarity lies in this blend of humor and hazard, turning farmyard animals into tools of chaos. Many players who see one for the first time laugh at the absurdity, only to be caught off guard by how difficult they can be to fight. Chickens themselves are harmless, but paired with an aggressive baby zombie, they become part of an unpredictable threat. These rare occurrences highlight the playful side of Minecraft's design, where mobs sometimes appear in strange, amusing pairings. Chicken jockeys remind us that rarity is not always about majesty or danger. It can also be about laughter woven into surprise. The skeleton horse trap event is one of the most dramatic rare mob encounters. During thunderstorms, a seemingly ordinary skeleton horse may appear. Approaching it triggers lightning, summoning multiple skeleton riders on skeletal steeds. The rarity lies in both the storm conditions and the chance of the trap itself. Surviving the ambush allows players to tame the remaining skeleton horses, turning a deadly moment into a prize. Skeleton horses are unique in their ability to walk underwater without difficulty, making them special mounts. The event feels cinematic, as lightning splits the sky and skeletons descend upon the player. These moments become stories players retell, reminders of how storms can change the world in an instant. The skeleton horse trap embodies rarity through spectacle, danger, and reward, transforming ordinary weather into a memory of both fear and triumph. The brown panda is among Minecraft's rarest mob variants, appearing with a very small chance when pandas spawn. Unlike their black and white counterparts, brown pandas stand out immediately with their warm, earthy tones. Their rarity lies in the sheer improbability of encountering them naturally, as most players will see dozens of regular pandas before ever finding one. Beyond their appearance, brown pandas share the same behaviors as others, but their scarcity makes them prized companions for collectors. Many players build enclosures or sanctuaries specifically to showcase them, treating them as trophies of exploration. The brown panda reminds us that rarity does not always mean power or danger. It can also mean beauty and uniqueness. They embody the joy of discovery, quiet treasures hidden within the game's mechanics. Spotting one in the wild feels like stumbling upon something truly special, a gentle symbol of patience rewarded. The blue axolotl is another legendary rarity, with odds of spawning naturally being extremely slim. While pink, gold, brown, and cyan axolotls are common, the blue variant exists as a prize for the persistent. Players often breed countless axolotls in hopes of obtaining one, turning the search into a long-term goal. Their rarity lies not only in the numbers but in the sense of achievement when they finally appear. Blue axolotls hold the same playful and combat-helpful traits as other colors, but their dazzling hue sets them apart, glowing brightly against the dark waters of lush caves. For many, finding one feels like winning a lottery, a rare spark of joy that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Blue axolotls embody the wonder of rarity at its purest, proof that patience, hope, and persistence can yield something magical in the depths of Minecraft's world. The rare baby pink sheep is one of Minecraft's iconic rarities, with only a tiny percentage of sheep spawning naturally in pink. Even rarer is the baby version, a small and vibrant puff of color among the plains. Pink sheep, whether baby or adult, carry a kind of mythic status because of their rarity, with many players taking special care to protect them if found. Their rarity lies in the striking contrast they bring to grassy landscapes, turning an ordinary day of wandering into a memorable discovery. Some players even build shrines or pens to honor these unusual finds, proof of their significance. The baby pink sheep in particular represents innocence and rarity combined, a fleeting vision of color and charm. It reminds players that sometimes the smallest, most delicate creatures can become the most treasured, not for utility but for the sheer wonder of their existence. Finally, the charged creeper remains one of the most dangerous and rare mobs in Minecraft. Created when lightning strikes a creeper, these electrified versions glow with a blue aura and carry explosive power far greater than their ordinary cousins. Their rarity lies in the chance event of a storm aligning perfectly with a creeper's presence. Charged creepers have the unique ability to create mob heads when killing other mobs in their explosions, making them valuable for collectors. Encountering one is a moment of both fear and awe, as the potential for destruction is immense. Their glowing form in the rain feels almost supernatural, as though nature itself has amplified danger. Charged creepers embody the raw unpredictability of Minecraft's world, proof that storms can transform the ordinary into something legendary. They are symbols of both risk and reward, unforgettable figures in the tapestry of rare encounters. The Illusioner is one of Minecraft's rarest mobs, not because of low spawn rates, but because it does not spawn naturally at all. Hidden in the game's files, this unused illager variant can only be summoned with commands. Its rarity lies in its inaccessibility, existing almost like a secret tucked away in the code. The Illusioner has unique abilities compared to other illagers, including the power to create duplicates of itself to confuse players and the ability to cast blindness spells. Because it cannot be found in survival mode without cheats, it feels like an urban legend, something many players have heard of but few have truly seen. Its presence in the game files sparks curiosity and speculation, reminding us that not all rare mobs are visible in the world. Some live in the background, whispers of what could have been, adding mystery to Minecraft's lore. The Killer Bunny shares a similar story, of hidden rarity. Originally introduced as a rare hostile variant of rabbits, the killer bunny had bright red eyes and would attack players on sight. Its rarity was originally in the numbers, spawning with a tiny probability, but later updates removed it from natural spawning entirely. Today, it can only be summoned using commands, making it even more elusive. Despite its ferocity, the killer bunny is remembered with fondness by many players who encountered it in earlier versions. Its rarity lies in being both a playful joke and a genuine threat, turning something harmless into a source of surprise and danger. The killer bunny is now more of a legend than a mob, referenced in stories and wikis but almost never seen in play. Its absence adds to its myth, proving that rarity can also mean existing only in memory and lore. Mules represent a quieter kind of rarity, appearing only when horses and donkeys are bred together. Unlike most mobs, they cannot spawn naturally in the wild, so their rarity is linked to player intervention. Mules combine the strengths of both their parents, carrying chests like donkeys, while having the speed and stamina of horses. Their inability to breed further makes them one-of-a-kind companions, as each mule is unique and final in its lineage. Players who take the time to breed them often cherish them, recognizing the rarity of something that exists only by deliberate choice. Mules symbolize effort and intention, a rare mob created through curiosity and care. Unlike mobs born from chance, they remind players that rarity can also come from creation, a reflection of the player's role in shaping the world around them. They are subtle treasures, useful and enduring, yet always slightly uncommon. The wandering trader's llamas are common in one sense, but rare in another. While wandering traders themselves appear from time to time, their llamas can be tricky to obtain. These llamas often wear colorful blankets and can be tamed if separated from their trader. Their rarity lies in the unusual circumstances required to claim them, as well as the fact that they are not like llamas found in herds. For many players, capturing a trader's llamas feels like a small achievement, turning a random encounter into a permanent addition to their world. The decorative blankets add a touch of uniqueness, marking them apart from ordinary llamas. Their presence is fleeting, often appearing only when the trader spawns, then vanishing again. The wandering trader's llamas embody the beauty of seizing opportunity, proof that sometimes rare mobs are not hidden in caves or storms, but in simple, passing moments. The wither skeleton horse, though not in the base game, is a fascinating example of rare mob speculation and fan creation. Imagined by players as a counterpart to skeleton horses, this concept appears in mods, fan art, and community discussions. While it does not exist officially, its rarity lies in its absence and the way players continue to imagine it into being. Many wish for hostile or tameable wither skeleton steeds, glowing with dark energy and serving as mounts of the nether. The idea of the wither skeleton horse shows how rarity can exist even outside the game's mechanics, how the community itself creates myths and rare encounters through creativity. In this sense, the wither skeleton horse is as real to the imagination as any coded mob, lingering at the edges of what could be. It represents how players often dream of rare creatures beyond what exists, keeping the game alive with possibilities. The rare glowing squid, though added relatively recently, immediately became one of Minecraft's most striking mobs. Found deep in dark waters, glowing squids emit a gentle shimmer that lights up their surroundings. Their rarity lies not only in their spawn locations, but in the luminous spectacle they create, turning caves and oceans into otherworldly scenes. Players who encounter them often stop simply to watch their glow, a small reminder of beauty within danger. Their glow ink sacs are unique drops, used for crafting glowing text on signs, further enhancing their rarity with utility. Glowing squids bring a calming presence to the game, a mob that feels less like a challenge and more like a gift. Their gentle light in the darkness makes them one of the most memorable rare mobs, proof that sometimes rarity is not about combat but about wonder shining softly in the depths. The husk jockey is an obscure and rare combination that many players may never see. Similar to chicken jockeys, it involves a baby husk riding atop a chicken, creating a desert-specific version of the phenomenon. Their rarity lies in the slim chances of such a pairing occurring naturally, combined with the already hostile environment of deserts. The husk jockey moves quickly and is difficult to hit, making it surprisingly dangerous for something so unusual. Encountering one feels like stumbling upon a secret, as if the desert itself produced something odd and frightening. Their rarity makes them a kind of hidden gem within the game, known by only the most observant or lucky players. The husk jockey is a reminder that Minecraft holds surprises in every biome, blending rarity with creativity to produce moments that players remember long after the desert winds have passed. The strider jockey is one of the rarest combinations found in the Nether. Occasionally, a zombified piglin may spawn riding a strider, wandering across lava lakes with an eerie calm. The rarity comes not only from the slim chance of this pairing, but also from the striking image it creates, a figure of the Nether's undead, traveling on a creature perfectly adapted to the fiery environment. For players exploring the Nether, seeing a strider jockey feels otherworldly, almost ceremonial, as if the piglins have mastered these lava walkers for their own purposes. While they are not especially powerful compared to other hostile encounters, their rarity makes them memorable. The sight captures Minecraft's ability to combine danger, humor, and surreal wonder all in one. Strider jockeys are a reminder that in the Nether, surprises await even the most seasoned traveler, turning every lava lake into a potential stage for the unusual. The rare event of a skeleton horse spawning without a trap is often overlooked. While skeleton horses are usually tied to thunderstorms and trap mechanics, on rare occasions players may discover them through commands or in unusual circumstances created by glitches. Their rarity lies in this unexpected presence, as they often appear where no storm has occurred. For players stumbling across one, the moment feels mysterious, as though the horse has wandered in from another world. Their skeletal frames, combined with their tameable nature, make them unique mounts, eerie companions that carry the weight of legends. These rare appearances outside of storms remind us that not all rarity is intentional. Sometimes it emerges from the quirks of a complex game. The skeleton horse embodies this duality, a creature both dangerous and gentle, rare yet useful, forever connected to the myths of lightning and the unexpected calm that follows. The spider with invisibility is a strange, rare encounter created when a spider spawns with an active invisibility effect. While not a unique mob variant coded into the game, these rare moments occur when spiders gain status effects through random mechanics. The rarity lies in the unsettling image of glowing red eyes drifting toward the player, seemingly without a body. Fighting one adds tension, as the spider's body remains hidden while it lunges. These rare spawns transform an otherwise ordinary mob into something ghostly and frightening, as if the game itself is playing tricks. Many players recall their first encounter with invisible spiders as one of shock, the memory etched into their experiences of Minecraft's dangers. They remind us that rarity does not always come from deliberate design. Sometimes chance creates moments of uncanny strangeness that linger like ghost stories whispered in the dark. The rare zombie villager child presents a unique combination of rarity and utility. Zombie villagers are already uncommon compared to ordinary zombies, and when they appear as children, the encounter becomes rarer still. These tiny figures run quickly, making them harder to avoid, yet they also represent potential. With the right items and preparation, players can cure zombie villagers and restore them to normal villagers. When the rare child form is found, it feels like an opportunity to save something even more special. Many players who succeed in curing one build stories around them, imagining the child villager growing up in their village, a survivor of danger and transformation. Their rarity is not just in numbers but in the emotions they stir: hope, urgency, and a sense of guardianship. The zombie villager child embodies the theme of redemption, turning a frightening encounter into a rare chance for kindness. The Vex, summoned by evokers, carries its own form of rarity. While Vexes can appear in woodland mansions or raids, their nature as summoned entities means they do not exist independently in the world. Their rarity lies in their fleeting, ghost-like presence: mobs that exist only when called upon, then fade away. Their small size, ability to phase through blocks, and eerie cries make them one of the most haunting mobs in Minecraft. For many, Vexes are less about numbers and more about the unsettling mood they create. They embody rarity in the sense of impermanence, appearing only during specific events, never lingering in the world on their own. Encountering Vexes is a reminder of how hostile and strange the Illager's magic can be, creating creatures that feel unnatural even in a game of imagination. Their rarity is tied to their role as fleeting shadows, here and gone in moments. The rare skeleton strays of icy biomes add their own chilly uniqueness to the game. Unlike ordinary skeletons, strays fire arrows tipped with slowness, making them dangerous foes in frozen regions. While they are biome-specific, their rarity lies in the way they turn icy landscapes into harsher environments. Their cloaked, frost-covered appearance adds to their atmosphere, blending seamlessly into snowy tundras. Players who encounter them feel the bite of the cold in both weather and combat, as their arrows slow movement and make escape difficult. Strays remind us that rarity can also mean specialization, creatures tied to specific places that change the rhythm of play. Their haunting silhouettes under the aurora-lit sky of snowy plains feel almost poetic, transforming an empty frozen world into one filled with danger. Strays embody the way rare mobs can deepen the character of a biome, making each environment feel alive with personality. The Phantom with unusual drops is a rare quirk some players experience due to glitches or modifications. Normally, Phantoms drop phantom membranes, useful for repairing elytra. But on rare occasions, players report finding unexpected items from Phantoms, whether through server quirks or unusual mechanics. This makes the encounter not only rare but mysterious, as though the Phantom carried with it treasures from another plane. Their rarity lies in unpredictability, turning an already eerie mob into something mythic. Phantoms themselves are tied to sleeplessness, appearing only when players neglect rest, adding layers of meaning to their rarity. When one drops something out of the ordinary, the moment feels magical, almost like receiving a gift from the skies. These events blur the line between coding and legend, proving that rarity can sometimes spring from the unplanned, leaving players with stories they cherish long after the night has ended. The rare villager Nitwit, while not hostile, has always intrigued players. Nitwits cannot take on professions, and therefore serve no direct purpose in a village's economy. Their rarity lies in their functionless role, wandering aimlessly with little contribution. Yet many players see them as endearing oddities, unique characters that add life and realism to villages. Their green robes make them easy to spot, and players often choose to protect them despite their lack of utility. Nitwits embody rarity as personality rather than power, proof that not every mob exists to be efficient. In their simplicity, they remind us of the playful quirks within Minecraft's world. The nitwit is a rare symbol of imperfection, a gentle presence that players remember fondly. Their very uselessness makes them rare treasures of storytelling, little green-robed wanderers who show that even in a world of mechanics, some things exist just to be. The charged creeper's ability to create mob heads through its enhanced explosions is a rarity that goes beyond its appearance. When a charged creeper destroys another mob, such as a skeleton zombie or another creeper, it causes them to drop their head, a feature unavailable otherwise. This mechanic makes charged creepers not only rare in spawning, but also valuable in function, as they unlock decorative trophies tied to some of Minecraft's most iconic creatures. Players who manage to orchestrate this event often go to great lengths to protect the heads as prized possessions. The rarity here lies not just in the creeper itself, but in the alignment of conditions, storms, timing, and combat all working together. These mob heads become proof of rare triumphs, displayed in bases as badges of achievement. Charged creepers remind us that rarity can also be about process, rewarding those who take risks with unique rewards. The wandering trader itself is a rare figure, often sparking debate among players about its usefulness. Appearing at random intervals, the trader offers a selection of items that can range from mundane to unexpectedly valuable. Its rarity lies in its unpredictability. No one knows exactly when or where it will appear. Accompanied by llamas, the trader feels like a passing traveler, connecting the player's isolated world to something broader. Many dismiss its trades, but others cherish its role as a rare visitor, a character who breaks the monotony of survival. In a world where so much is predictable, the wandering trader represents chance, serendipity, and surprise. Protecting or ignoring it becomes a choice, but either way, its presence adds texture to the game. Rare mobs are not always about strength or spectacle. They can be about timing, opportunity, and the fleeting joy of the unexpected. The evoker, while tied to woodland mansions and raids, embodies rarity through its unique drops. Defeating one yields the totem of undying, an item that grants a second chance at life. This makes evokers rare not just in numbers but in significance, as they are the sole source of such a powerful artifact. Their spells, which summon vexes and fangs, mark them as dangerous foes, but their reward ensures players value them highly. The rarity here is layered: the chance of finding a woodland mansion, the difficulty of surviving a raid, and the uniqueness of the drop all combine into a treasured event. Totems of undying have become symbols of resilience, and players often remember their first one with pride. Evokers remind us that rarity is not always about appearance. It can also mean access to something transformative, an item that changes how the game itself is played. The final rare mob worth noting is the wandering cats of villages, particularly the black cat that spawns near witch huts. Cats in general bring companionship, but black cats hold a special place in rarity. Found in limited circumstances, they carry a touch of superstition and charm. Their rarity lies in their specific spawning rules and their subtle tie to witches, adding a hint of lore to their existence. Players who tame them often feel they have captured something mystical, a familiar in both name and spirit. These cats remind us that rarity can be quiet, existing in small corners of the world rather than grand spectacles. A black cat waiting by a witch hut feels almost poetic, as if drawn from folklore into blocky form. They are rare companions who add warmth to villages and mystery to swamps, proof that even simple creatures can hold magic. The final thought on rare mobs in Minecraft is that rarity itself is part of the game's magic. Whether through low probabilities, unusual mechanics, or hidden quirks, rare mobs transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Each encounter feels like a story waiting to be told, whether it is a glowing squid shimmering in the deep, a charged creeper looming in the rain, or a tiny baby pink sheep standing in a field. These moments remind players that Minecraft is not just about building or surviving, it is about discovery, wonder, and surprise. Rarity makes the world feel alive, encouraging exploration and patience. The rare mobs we encounter stay with us, etched into our memories as milestones in our journeys. In the quiet of the night, reflecting on them feels soothing, like paging through a book of stories. Minecraft's rare mobs remind us that magic often hides in the unexpected.